Let's bring in WWE professional wrestler Chelsea Green for more on all of this. Chelsea, thank you so much for being with us. I know this must come as a shock to you. Can you walk us through your initial thoughts when you heard the news this morning?
I mean, polarizing political views aside, he was an absolute icon. And if it weren't for Hulk Hogan, there are many of us in the wrestling industry that would absolutely not be here. He inspired a massive generation. So it's a loss that we are feeling deeply in the wrestling community.
I can only imagine. And Chelsea, you just announced Ultimate Edition figures to be released with Hulk Hogan at Comic-Con today. How did Hogan shape your career professionally, and what was your relationship with him?
Well, he showed up to Raw and SmackDown with an energy that truly was unmatched. And we actually just saw him at the Netflix premiere of Raw in January. He was very alive, very well, very just full of spirit and energy. So, that's the Hulk that I knew and I grew up with. My husband is a ride or die Hulk Hogan fan, and so he's definitely feeling the loss today. I can only imagine that my coworkers are, taking it very hard as well.
And I know he was very supportive of female wrestlers as well. Do you have a favorite memory of Hulk Hogan that sticks out in your mind?
I don't think I could possibly begin to tell you one memory because, I mean, think about all of the impact that he had on wrestling. And then on top of that, he was a Florida local, and I'm here in Florida as well. So we would often see him at his shop and at the beach and out and about. And he was just, he was one of a kind.
Yeah, so many of his close friends and colleagues will say that, when he entered the room, the temperature changed. It went up. It was all of a sudden this energy kind of came into wherever he was. How do you think other wrestlers are going to remember him as well?
I think exactly the same way that I'm saying. They're probably going to put it even better than I can possibly word it because, I think all of the 80s and 90s babies really grew up with Hulk as their idol in one way or another. And I can't imagine what his family is feeling right now, but it's amazing to see the community, and not just the wrestling community, but the community come together and honor an American icon.
I mean, he really was a pioneer when you think about it, because he not only was a star in the wrestling world and continued to be, but he was also able to transfer that to a television career and a film career. I mean, how extraordinary is that in your profession?
I think that's the very unique thing about Hulk, and we've seen it a couple times since then with The Rock and John Cena, but these men transcend wrestling. There are people well outside of this wrestling world that know who those three men are, and that's what makes it really special. Hulk Hogan walked so that we could all run in Hollywood.
And did he give you any pieces of advice? Did you ever go up to him and say, hey, Hulk, I really want to try this, or I've been wanting to dip my toe into that. What's your advice? Did he ever give you any kind of career advice or maybe life advice?
At the beginning of my career, I had a couple of run-ins with him, before I was in WWE, before I was anyone. And all I can say is that the positivity and the encouragement that he provided to me 10 years ago still sticks in my brain. And I'm going to carry that on throughout my career because he was just such a trailblazer and he wasn't afraid of anything. And I think that's the beauty of Hulk, is that he rubbed off on all of us in that way.
Do you think there's going to be anybody else like him in the world of wrestling?
There couldn't possibly be. We can all try to emulate him. We can all try to, have that Hulk Hogan tan that's so famous and bring that star power. But at the end of the day, there's one and only one Hulkster.
Yeah, Hulkster. I love that. He had a sparkle when he entered the ring. Chelsea Green, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.